Welcome to the Tim and Chuck High School Football Show, presented by Batt and Stevens Body Shop of Defiance. I am Tim McDonough, joined by my esteemed colleague, Chuck Martinez-Brandon. Chuck, I've been working out this offseason, getting ready for some football. High school football starts on Friday. What do you think?
Boy, great time of the year. Lights are going to flip on Friday night. There's no better time of the year. Kids have been practicing for a month now almost, and it's just a go time.
It's go time, and we have some big games to talk about right off the bat. Great rivalries, games that could impact the playoffs weeks down the road. Starting this, the one we like to talk about first every year. This year it's at Napoleon, Bulldogs of Defiance, traveling to Buckenmeyer. What do you think? Boy,
you know what? If you can't get up for this game as a fan, as a coach, as a player, you better check your pulse, because this is one of the rivalries every year that they started looking at this game 6 months ago. As you're lifting weights in the winter, kids are looking at the calendar, getting ready for Napoleon. They're getting ready for the Bulldogs. It's a game that it just sets the tone for the season, and sometimes you can't get over that hump. You lose this game, it sort of sets a terrible tone, so that's why you got to get off on the right foot.
Lots of changes for the Bulldogs this year, Chuck. Lost Will Batt at quarterback, lost Trey Gilliam at wide receiver, lost almost all of their leading tacklers. They had 4 guys competing for quarterback. They're going over there to Napoleon, and they've got some young kids that are going to be seeing what it's like for the first time.
There's a couple things that really stand out to me. If you've got 4 quarterbacks, you don't have one, and that's never good. And going into that last scrimmage, coming out of the last scrimmage, the Bulldogs, they still don't know. And that's got to worry you. But to me, the biggest glaring thing, and what Coach Beauty said after that last scrimmage, no intensity. And if you come out with no intensity, that means you're playing slow, you're playing tight, and that is never good.
Yeah, Alex Gonzalez is going to get the first snaps for Defiance under center, and we'll see how he holds up. His counterpart, Blake Dunbar, he led the comeback a year ago. Defiance was up 28-14 in that game. Napoleon won that game 33-28. They have experience on that side, and Napoleon has depth. They have, I think, something like over 100 kids, freshman through senior, in the program out.
Yeah, and you talk about changes. You look at the Wildcats, they got some changes too in the coaching staff. Coach Hummer's been there forever. We're running that 3-5-3 defense. They've sort of changed over to a 4-3, maybe a cover 2 look, and they struggled a little bit in their second scrimmage too. So there's going to be some changes there. It's going to be a matter of who can right the ship fastest.
Well, both teams made the playoff last year, Chuck. We'll see what happens this year. All right, let's go to another matchup that we always like to talk about the first week. Tenora, 10-2 a year ago, at Liberty Center, 7-3. Lots of changes for those two teams too, but I think Tenora is the favorite in the GMC.
Yeah, coming in, they really are, and this is another game. It sets the tone. You win this game, a lot of times the winner of this game is going to see Week 11 and hitting going on in this game always.
Yeah, always a lot of hitting. I guess tell me a little bit about what you see from Tenora. They lost Derek Dravis. They lost Reed Renolette. They lost Kurt Colley. They lost some big names.
Yeah, they lost some big names, but they still got some big guys up front. And, Coach Krause over there, he's going to pound the ball. And that all starts with those guys up front, opening holes. And they had some good young running backs that should be all right to be able to find those holes that those guys are going to create.
Well, how about Liberty Center? I was looking through the preview again. I think they only have something like 2 starters back on defense, and they lost a lot too, only 4 back on offense.
Yeah, exactly. When you're Coach Lingren, they've got that reputation of being hard-nosed football players. And I'm sure that will help get them over the hump until they get that experience that they need. It goes back to being hard-nosed and aggressive. If you can do that, that makes up for lacking in other areas.
Well, a couple of teams that I think have playoff aspirations. Hicksville at Archbold. Hicksville did make the playoffs, won a playoff game. Archbold lost to Liberty Center the last week by 2. Could have made the playoffs, but didn't. What do you like about these two teams? What do you think?
Yeah, Hicksville is another team that they've based everything on their run game. They were young up front. They had some younger guys in the middle of that offensive line that really played well last year. And with that year experience under their belt, man, they're going to come back, I think, even be better this year.
Yeah, they have a lot of kids back, including Johnny Giesecke at quarterback. They've got Phil Carrickson back. Now, Archbold, they are looking for a quarterback. They had Brandon Guerin go down with an injury early, so it looks like Derek Walker is going to be under center for them. They have to replace Evan Wise, 38 touchdowns a year ago.
And that's hard to do. But the positive is when you play that offense, they spread you out. They like to move the ball around to a lot of different people. And if you can get a quarterback that can drive the bus, little Bill Parcells, drive the bus and distribute the ball, they'll be all right.
All right. Well, those are the 3 big games that we're talking about this week. Next week, we will have some more big games, of course. But also next week, we want you to join us for
the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. Will be back handing out big hits all year long.
Like the one that you see here. Very, very well done. Also, we will have the Staff Mark Play of the Week, like the one you see here. Big plays, big hits.
Big plays, big hits, big time football. Ooh, I can't wait.
We will have them. We would like to thank our sponsors this year, Batten Stevens Body Shop of Defiance. They are a title sponsor. We would like to thank them for coming on board. We'd like to welcome back Rose Insurance for the Collision of the Week. And we'd like to welcome Staff Mark on board for the Play of the Week.
That's right.
And now we also have something a little fun that we're going to do here at the end. Chuck, why don't you tell everyone what's going on?
A little fun, you know. You can't be in this business and be in social media without getting called out on some things. So we're going to go forward, and I'm going to accept the challenge that have been handed out by several people, and we're going to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, Tim.
Well, let's go do that.
All right. Let's roll. All right, we're back here at the Tim and Chuck Show. I'm going to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I've been called out by my sister, Karen Morgan, Coach Jason Engel, and my good friend, Rob Wellman. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it a lot. And since I get called out, I get to call out a couple people. We're going to call out the captains of the winning team from the Defiance Napoleon game, because losing that game sucks bad enough, so you don't want to have to do something else. So the captains from the winning game, the winning team from the Napoleon Defiance game, I'm going to call out from the Defiance Crescent-News Sports Department, Aaron Gross, and Northwest Signal guys. If you don't want to be outdone, somebody from the Northwest Signal Sports Department too.
You ready?
All right, Timmy. Hit me, baby. Oh, yeah. Woo!
See you next week.